Hi, everybody. Welcome again to another episode of the ShopNotes podcast. I'm your host, Phil Huber. Today is episode number 236, and it's a special one. Rather than our usual format where John and Logan and I spill the tea on all kinds of woodworking stuff, we're going to go with a different route. A few issues back in Woodsmith magazine, Rob Petrie, one of the editors here, did a book review on Japanese Joinery by a German author, Dorian Bracht. As part of it, Rob got to interview Dorian, and it's a really great conversation, and I think more people would want to hear about it. So you can hear their chat with each other as part of today's episode. It's kind of a fun little thing, and throughout the process, Rob really got to get his feet wet on some Japanese joinery and try out a few of them on his own, and you get to hear where the book came from and why, and you'll just want to make sure that you check it out. I want to give a shout out to today's sponsors for the episode. This episode of the ShopNotes podcast is brought to you by Harvey Industries. Good enough is not good enough. See all of our new tools at harveywoodworking.com.
All right. I'm happy to just jump into it here. I have
Sure.
about 8 or 9 questions to go through. So
hmm
feel free to be as long or as short as you like. Just to start off here, I was wondering, I know you talk about just your background a little in the book, but if you could tell us a little broadly about yourself, your education, kind of your background as it relates to woodworking or outside of that too.
Yeah, so I went to international schools my whole life pretty much. Um, in Hong Kong for a long time, for like 7 years or 6 years, and then I came to Germany. And here I did my pretty normal German school, like the German diploma, and actually did want to study graphic design. But that never really worked out, as you can see. I mean, I still have like a very big passion for it, and like for doing layout, typography, calligraphy, things like that. So yeah, I was like, I was gonna study, and then I thought, yeah, but everyone goes directly from school to university, and then when they're finished with university, they go look for a job, and then they're like completely stumped because they come out of university and have like absolutely no experience in any way, unless they've been jobbing, of course. Here we don't really have to pay for our university, so we're pretty lucky on that front. So yeah, but otherwise, just having no experience in any job market whatsoever, and I thought, yeah, maybe I should actually learn like a proper trade before I do that, so I know what working life is like. And then I just looked around. I was like, what do I want to do? Yeah, woodworking looks pretty cool. I like dovetails and things look pretty nice. Like I had no clue what it was about, but I was like, yeah, sure. And then I pretty much embarked on the journey and didn't really look back since then.
I'm actually kind of curious within there. What was it that first got you into woodworking? Especially since you said, originally you just thought dovetails looked cool. Yeah, was it what
It
specifically
was
piqued you?
actually it was actually pretty much that. It was like I really liked the geometry of joinery. It had like it was in a sense very like three-dimensional uh version of what I like doing, like graphics and things like that. So it was all very I don't know, in my mind it kind of hooked. It was like it was it was what interested me the most because of these forms of like joining things together, like those satisfying fits and everything. But I had no clue. Like I didn't even know how like a dovetail went together. Like I never really looked at it that intensely. I just saw the shape and was like, "Ooh, that's cool." I might want to go in that direction. And then later I found out like all my uncles and stuff, they all they all did cabinetry apprenticeships, and like woodworking was pretty big in my family. I was like, oh, okay, kind of figures. Like I get it now.
So discovering that later. Is your family a lot, are they from Germany as well?
Yeah, yeah, my parents are both from Germany, exactly.
Okay, well, excellent. And then so after you did your original schooling, I believe from what I read, you apprenticed under a furniture maker, and you're gonna have to forgive my German pronunciations, but
Let's hear it.
Leipzig,
Yeah,
Leipzig,
perfect. That was really good. Yeah, yeah.
wonderful.
That's correct. Yeah, Leipzig.
How was your time doing the apprenticeship?
That was really cool. Like I actually, so before I did my apprenticeship, like when I thought about going into cabinetry before doing my university studies, I did two internships. One of them was in a place. It was like I don't know what you call it in English. They do like they build out all the stores, so a lot of like particle board and acrylic and CNC, and they made like the
Hmm.
for like Vichy and all these companies, like for all the cosmetics companies, they made like the furnishings for the stores and everything. So yeah, I had no clue. So, but I already noticed like when I was there, it's like, ooh, this is kind of boring. I'm not sure if I actually want to do this. And then my second apprenticeship was with a friend of the master of that cabinet shop, and he was doing a build out in London for this rich guy. And they were like, yeah, we still need someone. You want to join us? And it was a paid internship, so it was pretty cool. It was like a couple weeks, always on and off. So I did like all in all, it was like 2, 3 months, but
Wow.
always on and off every now and then for over a couple months.
That's
And yeah, that was like pretty much doing everything, flooring, doors, installing door jambs and everything, windows, round windows, drywalling, plumbing. Like I had the whole shebang, the whole thing, like of doing in a whole apartment. And yeah, that was pretty intense, and that kind of got me more fired up because it was more interesting. And then I came to this master in Leipzig through contact of my parents' friend. She does like raku ceramics, so Japanese ceramics. And she was like, "Yeah, hey Dorian, I hear you want to do an apprenticeship. I know a guy in Leipzig. He's a friend of mine. We always go on exhibitions together. He does like Japanese style furniture and joinery stuff." Showed me the internet site, and it was like a really like he did it himself, so it was like a totally 90s internet site. Really cool. Like he did all the HTML, all the programming himself. But it was like the typical like you have like a visitor counter in the top left corner and then like some animation and like a calendar and like all these random things. It was really cool. But he had lots of pictures. And yeah, he did some really nice things, like a lot of these Mizugumi, like the actually like it's a really nice article, by the way. Thanks for making it so long and in depth. That was like I read the whole thing. I was like, oh wow, that's pretty cool. So thanks for that.
course, I'm glad you
Um
appreciated it.
yeah, it was really cool. And the joint you tried, like the Mizugumi,
Hmm.
that's what I learned from him. Like he taught me that like from the ground up.
Oh, wow.
And all the different types of those, like the sunrise dovetails and everything, because he learned that in Japan. So he's originally from Leipzig, but when the wall fell um, and East Germany was opened again, he had like this what do you call it? When you do like an exchange. It was an exchange with for like German craftspeople to get to know Japanese
Mm.
craftsmanship. So they had like metal workers, woodworkers, gardeners, and everything, and they learned Japanese for a year, and then they got shipped over to Japan for 1.5 years to work in the different companies. So yeah, my master did. I think he did sliding door building like shoji.
Mm.
Then he did furniture making under Yazawa Kintaro. He's like this really renowned furniture maker. Like he does all these really crazy joints. I gotta send you a link to his website. It's just
So
it's
please do.
absolute. It is absolutely insane. Like he showed me, and I was like, "Wait, how is he doing this?" Like it's like mind-boggling, really. So he learned that it was there, and then he also did a bit of carpentry, like tea house building with another master. So he had a pretty wide um spectrum of work, which was pretty cool, which I very much profited from in my 3 years when I was there. So yeah, it was interesting because we did a lot of interior stuff, like building sliding doors and things like that, and building tables and benches with crazy joints. But also, I learned like the basics of veneering. Like he was pretty thorough in teaching me lots of different things, which was pretty cool. So I got all the basics pretty much implanted and could build on those, which was
Mhm.
really good.
Well, that answers my next question quite a bit. Just on how you got interested in Japanese joinery specifically, through
Yeah,
your apprenticeship there. So then after
but
that,
yeah.
did you work on your own for a little after apprenticing with him? Or for a while, I suppose. I don't know exactly when that
Yeah,
was.
yeah, so while I was apprenticing with him, I had he was relatively relaxed. Like when there was not so much to do, I could do some of my own projects every now and then. Like I could sneak in a few hours here and there, which was pretty cool. Which isn't actually like you'd have to do it after work hours if you were in a normal company doing like your apprenticeship. But he was relatively chill, so I could do like I did like smaller projects like boxes and things, so I kind of got to know how to work for myself and kind of plan for myself, made lots of mistakes, which is good. That's what the apprenticeship is for. Make as many mistakes as you can. And then when I was done after 3 years, I went back to Berlin and I was like, okay, let's find a job. And that totally did not work at all. That fell through absolutely because all the places where I wanted to work, no one was looking for a hire. And like the only places where I could work was like construction jobs or restoring buildings, which was also cool, but like every day in the dust, like doing all sorts of, well, it was nice, but I couldn't do that my whole life. So it was like I do it every now and then too, but I was kind of like it was I was hard pressed if I wanted to continue doing carpentry and cabinetry because it was just like there was no real perspective in the market, which was kind of sad. And I was like, hey, so what did I spend all these 3 years for? So like, maybe I'll go back to my original plan and study graphic design. It's like it would be a shame, but yeah, I don't really have an option here. And then my dad kind of stepped in and was like, hey, you know what? Like all that hard work and you're doing such nice stuff. And like, if you really want to, go ahead. But first, I'm going to commission a piece with you and you got to build it. You got like a carte blanche. So like, do whatever you want pretty much. So he ordered like a high board for like some of his stuff for his house. And he was like, yeah, go crazy. And I was like, okay, sure, whatever. In his budget, of course. And then I built like this high board with miter dovetails, so like the hidden dovetails, and it was like two boxes, two cabinets, kind of going into each other, and like a solid back panel and everything, and it was really nice and it was super fun. And then I finished the whole outside in the spear plane, in the Japanese spear plane. And that took ages. So yeah, he didn't pay the full price that it would have costed. And back then my hour didn't cost that much. I had no experience being self-employed. So I was like, okay, sure, whatever, what do I take? But it all kind of worked out. And then like when I finished it and I fumed it with ammonia and then when I waxed it and it turned like this really nice brown and everything looked super sweet and I hung it up and it just fit perfectly and everyone was happy. I was super happy. I looked and I was like, yeah, you know what? So maybe I shouldn't do graphic design. This is kind of nice. And at that moment, I kind of decided for myself, all right, let me try that. Like, I had no idea what I was getting myself into, of course, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this self-employed thing. Like in my heart, I made up my mind, or in my head, I made up my mind and said, okay, 100%, I'm gonna give it a go. Let's see what it brings. Because before that, I was always kind of wishy-washy, like, what should I do? And then like I think 2 weeks after I decided what I wanted to do, I was like, there was this offer for like through like the person knows a person knows a person knows a person. It's like, hey, someone's looking for someone to rent like a workshop space. It's really cheap and it's in the middle of Berlin, like really close. So I looked at it. The guy was really nice, and then it kind of just clicked, and it was super cheap, and I was like, okay, nice, perfect to get started. And then I just yeah, then I started doing the self-employed thing. And yeah. Still at it now. Lots of ups and downs, but I'm still at it. Still kind of working out for better or for worse.
The shop that you still have right now?
No, no, no. That was a lot smaller. That was with
Mhm.
two furniture restorers, and
Okay.
we had maybe like yeah, we do everything in meters here, so I don't know what it is in feet, but we had like 100 square meters or something for
Okay.
three of us, and they always had furniture standing around and everything because they had to like restore all these furniture pieces. So there was no space to do big projects. It was always only small. Like even if I had to do a table, it was already getting pretty cozy in there.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, no, I moved out I think 4 or 5 years ago into a bigger shop in which we share. We have like a shared shop here. We're a couple companies in here making it work.
So that's nice to have this space, especially with some of
Yeah.
the projects. I've watched some of your YouTube videos that you have up.
Thanks.
But yeah, oh, absolutely. I very much enjoy those kind of silent build ones. It's just gratifying to see things come together like that.
Oh,
Um,
that's nice.
You want a glue that you can trust, and fortunately, Titebond has the glue you need to get the job done with confidence. From interior glues with strong initial tack and short clamp time, to exterior glues with exceptional strength and water resistance, look to Titebond, the right glue for your next project. For more information, visit titebond.com.
so I guess my next question then would
Mhm.
be what inspires you to write your book, Japanese Joinery? When did you know that was something you wanted to do?
Well, to be completely honest, it was more of like a there was like a kind of like a little idea in my head that someday maybe I'll write a book about joinery, but yeah, or about woodworking in general. But there's so many books out there, and it's like, yeah, we'll see what happens. Maybe someday. And then like GMC Publishing, Jonathan Bailey came over to he was at the book fair in Leipzig. And he was like, "Hey, I'm over here. Like, would you be interested in meeting up? Like, what do you think about writing a book about joinery?" And I was like, "Okay, yeah. I mean, sure, why not? Sounds fun. I have a couple joints here that I could photograph and stuff. So, yeah, sure. Might as well." And then we met up and kind of checked out the scope of things, like what they were expecting, what I was expecting. Yeah, and then it was just kind of like that's kind of how I do things. Like I someone offers me a job or there's like something to do and I grossly underestimate the amount of work that goes into it. Or I think, oh, that'll be easy. I'll do it. Fine. I'll do it somehow. It'll work out. That's like my my way of getting myself into these things. And like as soon as you're in, there's no real way to back out. So you only have one choice, and that's kind of to bust on through. So yeah, that's it's kind of how I got to where I am. Just kind of always over over expecting or like kind of no, overestimating or no, underestimating things, and then just kind of having to worm my way through the best of my ability, and then grow and learn. And the book was pretty much the same. Like I thought, yeah, I should work out, and then I totally underestimated how much work it would be, especially with having to work properly, like work, and then like in the evenings write books with kids and family and everything. That was pretty intense. Yeah.
Understandable. You seem to have made it work so far, though, in that regard. And actually, that's a good segue too. What was the process of writing the book like? Because you mentioned in there that some of these joints you had to put together off of just whatever photographs or I think pixelated sketches was one of the lines you had in there. Anything you could find. So, what was the process of getting those all compiled like and made for that matter?
Well, I didn't do them. To be honest, none of the books in the book were made specifically for the book. They
Mm,
were all either all the maple ones and the black and white ones, they're all from the YouTube videos.
mm,
Then all the ones made out of coniferous wood, so they're all made out of larch. Those were for the university. like ETH in Zurich in Switzerland. They have like an architectural department, and they have a material library, also a technique library. And the curator came up and was like, "Hey, Dorian, like I saw your videos, and we have like an exhibition coming up, and we need some joint models for it. Would you be interested?" And I was like, "Of course, I'd be interested. I love joinery." And then we kind of figured it out, and then I made like a couple of joints for them, like 20 joints as a model. And they went on a exo like they're still going around the world. They're like always in some exhibitions here and then exhibitions there. And he was like, "Yeah, these are going to be going around the world all the time and they're not coming back. So can you make them again?" And I was like, "Okay, sure." And then I made them again. And he was like, "Yeah, we have this other exhibition coming up. Can you make more joints? Like we have some other ones, more complicated ones, maybe some Chinese ones as well." And like, it's like, "Yeah, of course." And then so like over the time I made like, I don't know, 60, 70 joints for them, like joint models. And I already knew about the book then, and I was like, this links up perfectly because like, I can't take enough, or I can't take so much free time to make all these joints for the book. The book would have been pretty slim if I didn't get these jobs for making the joints for them. So that was kind of a stroke of luck in that sense. So before I sent them all out to Zurich, my dad took photos of them. He used to be a photographer, like a commercial photographer. So also very lucky there that he could take these really nice photos with his good camera and
Oh, yeah,
his home yeah, and his home studio, like some basement studio with a couple lights and a nice background that he had from the 80s. So
absolutely.
yeah, it all worked out pretty well. And
And
then
so
all
those
that
are the
was
photos that ended up in the book there, by the way.
exactly all those photos. Yeah, yeah.
Oh wow, yeah, they're wonderful, absolutely.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, he did a really good job. I was super happy. And that's some quality time spent with my dad, so that's also cool. And yeah, so yeah, then all that was left was researching. And that was a whole new can of worms. That was just because I mean, I speak a bit of Japanese. I'm not in any way fluent at all. Like I can hold like a minimal conversation. I understand a bit, but I can't read it. And it's pretty hard to do research on all these joints without speaking the language so well. Like I'm lucky I have Japanese friends that speak English,
Mhm.
and I'm also lucky that there's Instagram and like a very big community in the woodworking carpentry scene, also Japanese carpenters that are really like they're super relaxed and very interested and just all in all really nice people. And they always like when I had questions or anything, they would always answer. And yeah, so really good. And lots of books too, all in Japanese. So I had to ask my friends to translate stuff. But yeah, it worked out. It worked out. And yeah, but I was always a bit insecure about that aspect. Like, did I research this properly? Is someone going to point out that this is all, excuse my French, bullshit? And it's like, yeah, well, yeah. So I got my friends to read the whole thing, and he's a carpenter too, so he was like, yeah, it's all good. Don't worry. It's all pretty factual, like from what I know. So yeah, and then one of my favorite parts was actually drawing all the drawings for each chapter. That was really cool. Like I had a lot of fun doing that. I really love drawing. Always have, always will. And that was a lot of drawings. That was like a whole stack, like probably an inch or maybe 1.5 inches, like a stack of A3 paper.
Oh wow.
And I had to get it all scanned because I don't have an A3 scanner at home. So I had to go to like a copy shop or like a place where I could get them scanned. And I'm like walking through the city with this batch of drawings that I spent like 2 years on. And I'm like, oh God, I hope nothing happens to these drawings. That would be so bad. No
Oh man.
backups, no nothing, just running around with all this work. It's like, I mean, it had me nervous. Or like I hope the scanner doesn't eat them up or anything. Oh yeah. No, but
Oh,
it all
no
worked
doubt.
out. That was good.
Yeah, and I quite enjoyed the illustrations. I think that's a great part of the book.
Yeah,
Um,
thanks. Thanks. I'm really proud of them too.
no, it absolutely should be. You mentioned a little in there too, so another question I wanted to ask you.
Mm.
Obviously the book focuses on Japanese joints, but you did mention just earlier, Chinese joinery. Are there
Mm.
other kinds of, or particular other kinds, I suppose, of traditional joinery that have really piqued your interest as well?
Yeah. Uh, from everywhere. It's like I just love joinery in general. Like the more I got into it, like the more I looked at. I've always loved looking at pictures of like the perfect fit. I mean, who doesn't? It's like it's always really nice and gratifying when something goes together perfectly. But just like over the years, when I had more understanding of how these things worked from a structural standpoint, I saw like the genius that came from all cultures where people actually sat down, had a problem, thought about it. How can I get this done with these couple pieces of wood so that it's efficient, well made, and strong? And like just like you see a joint and how it's made, like no matter where it's from, like you see what the person who designed this joint was thinking. Like it's all laid bare in the joinery itself. They thought about how does member A connect to member B so member C can intersect in this way. Then there's water that I have to think of so that it doesn't seep in, and I have to think of this and here. And you totally just see like it's a visual representation of what they were thinking while they were designing this joint. And I think that's really interesting. And that's in any culture. So that's why it's kind of hard to say from where, but like if we're talking complexity, like you would think it's actually Japanese joinery that's super complex, but then you get into Ming period furniture from China, Ming and Qing dynasty furniture, and that's where it gets really, really crazy. Like the amount, like the level of craftsmanship is just so insanely high, and just like it's really like I don't know if you have any eh, if you've seen it before or if you've had any tangents with it. It's really really interesting. Like the engineering that goes into these joints is very very crazy. It's really nice.
I have to look into it more. I don't think I've come across them more than in passing, to be honest.
Yeah,
But
you have to check it out. It's really really cool.
oh, absolutely, yeah. I've seen a little of what you've mentioned on that. I think just in the book and on your website.
Yeah.
Um, but that's exactly yeah what I was interested in knowing. Wonderful. I do have another question regarding the book too. And especially now that you've sold out the first edition on it, is there anything specific that you would hope that readers, whether they're, designers, or woodworkers, anything you want readers to get from your book? Any particular takeaway?
Mm, yeah, to just go for it. Kind of like mm, well, first of all, like the book was it was supposed to be aesthetically pleasing, so that even like that was just also my inner graphic designer talking. Like I did like a basic like layout design and gave that to GMC and their design house. They did a really really good job in getting it designed so that it was kind of like I felt that it was like to my standards. They did a really phenomenal job with the layout. Like I just gave them a basic double page layout and they worked off that and did all the rest. So first of all, like also from the photos and the drawings, it was supposed to be a very aesthetically pleasing book that anyone who's actually not necessarily going to try any of these joints, like so of course there's some like designers and architects who are like, this is really interesting. I'm never going to use them, and I don't have a workshop, and I not don't do woodworking. I'm never going to use it, but it's just a nice book to have to like to just leaf through and kind of look at the like touch it, look at the drawings, look at the photos, and just like I really love a good book. Like even if I know like there's a lot of like fashion books or like sewing books from Japan or like all these like nicely designed books, it's just really, really nice to have such a thing and look at it and just physically have it. But then I also wanted to make it for people who actually do woodworking, any skill level actually, to just kind of yeah, just go for it, give him the kind of like the little stab between the ribs, just do it. Nothing's gonna go wrong. It's just gonna you like all you could do is make mistakes. It's like just go for it. Like just how I did it. Like I just started, Doesn't matter if it looks weird, just start, just go. And that was kind of also like the feeling I wanted to give with the book, just to just do it. Doesn't matter if it's for temple carpentry or whatever, just go for it. Yeah.
Cool. Now, just a couple more questions here. What are you working on primarily these days now that you've finished up the book?
Yeah, that was I got like all sorts of jobs. Like right now I'm working on like an interior for a client, doing all sorts of stuff, building solid wood doors and like jams and stuff. I love doing that kind of work as well. But I also have like some work for artists that I do at the moment, like solid wood work. And that's always really interesting because artists always have like these very specific things that they want. And the artist that I'm working for, she really likes wood. So we very much share that aspect in our work. So she's been coming to me for a couple of years now. So I'm doing some work for her. And then I might be doing some more interior work, like big furniture work in summer. So I got some pretty cool projects lined up for this year. Yeah, last year I was very busy promoting and selling books. Yeah, that was a whole new thing. Like how I explained, remember me saying, "Yeah, that'll be easy. It'll work out." So yeah, I decided to sell and send my own books, and absolutely grossly underestimated how much work goes into doing an online store like that. And I was like, yeah, it'll be cool. It'll be cool. Oh, more orders, more orders. Oh, I'll do a video. Oh, even more orders. And then by the end of the day, like it was over 1,000 orders, and I was just like, oh God.
Huh.
Yeah, yeah. But it worked out. Like it was a learning curve. But now I can also operate an online store. So there's
Exactly.
that. Yeah. Uh, no, it's good. I got some good projects lined up for sure.
Well, wonderful. That about answers all my questions. Of course, one more. If anyone would like to get a copy of your book, what would be the best way for them to do that?
They can order through my website.
Wonderful.
I'm doing the pre-order right now. I'm not sure though if I'm going to be selling after the pre-order period is over because I never know how many books to buy, how much will I sell, et cetera, et cetera. So the pre-order is pretty good for me because I can just collect orders and kind of get them all out. But I'm going to be doing the books are probably going to be coming around mid to end of March. They should be. So until then, pre-order is fine. After that, probably any good bookstore where you can buy them.
All right. Well, that sounds great. Dorian, thank you for your time. That is all I have. It was great talking with you. Anything else you'd like to say at all?
I actually did a lot of talking. I don't think there's anything else. No, thank you for the interview. It was really nice.
Absolutely. I appreciate I enjoyed your book. I'm glad we ended up getting to talk. That
Yeah,
all worked
thanks.
out
Me
very well.
too.
So thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, that's it for another episode of the Shop Notes podcast. If you have any questions, comments, or smart remarks, we want to hear about it. You can send us an email, woodsmith@woodsmith.com, or leave us a comment in the comment section if you're watching this on YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube to the Shop Notes podcast. We'll see you next week, everybody. Bye.